Hello everyone, welcome back to another Art Surface modeling tutorial. In this one, we are gonna model texture and render this object in Cinema 4D. For the rendering, I'm gonna use Octane Renderer. I believe I will split the tutorial into two parts. One will be for just modeling and the second one will be for rendering. I believe this is one of my best tutorials on YouTube, so I would highly suggest you to follow the tutorial. I will also put the image planes in the description so you can follow along. So let's get into it. I will switch to model mode as usual, then go to the front view, Shift and V, and import my image plane. Some offset. I'm gonna roughly center the image on the y-axis. Yeah, something like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Then I'm gonna copy that path, go to the front view, and paste that over. Now I need to kind of center the side view. Something like that will be enough. Also, let's have some transparency. And that's going to be all for the image planes. Now let's add in a cube and scale it. Something like that. I see that we should go back to the image plane and change the offset Y as well. Let's see. Yeah, something like that will be enough. So I should copy that value and go to the right view and paste that over as well for the Y offset to get a match. Then I'm gonna scale my object over here, and this should be it, I believe. Now I want to check the shape and see what we are gonna have symmetrical. For example, these buttons will be symmetrical on the X, but not on the Y-axis because we don't see them on the top. But check out these bottom and top details. We are gonna have them on the X. We are gonna have them also on the y-axis, top and bottom, but also we are gonna have them on the z-axis as well. So I should start to model by modeling these details first. Then I should make the symmetries editable. Then, for example, I should model these buttons. After that, I should model this place for the buttons. I should model them at the very end because this part is not symmetrical at all. This may not make a sense, but you're gonna see as I progress. First, let's go back to the cube and give some segments. By the way, I changed my display to go out shading lines so we can see lines and polygons, edges, etc. So I'm gonna increase all of these to 2, make this one editable. Go into polygon mode, select these 3 only, invert the selection, UNI, and delete. Sometimes you may not follow the shortcuts. If so, go to selection and all the selections will be right in here. And I usually use loop selection, fill selection, and select all and invert. I mostly use this. Anyway, let's go back to this one and I will hold down Alt and it's 3 symmetries. This one, I'm going to change the plane and this is going to be the last one. Now I'm going to select the cube, go into edge mode. I'm going to select that edge and I'm going to bevel it first. I will need some subdivisions like 2 and change the offset. Then I'm going to need an inset over here to get that front frame. So let's right click, select inset. We are going to have a problem. These center polygons, because we are using a bunch of symmetries, we are going to get these. So I'm going to undo, select all of these 3 symmetries and enable these options, which will basically delete these polygons we see in the middle. Inset. Actually, let's check the front view. I'm going to need something like that. Then I'm going to move them on the z-axis. Perfect. Now we got the edges. Now it is time to model these top and bottom parts. As I told you before, these are symmetrical on y, x, and z axis. So first we should model these. I'm gonna move some of the points before extruding, like these over here. Then I need to move this point as well because these right on a curve. So you need to be really careful. Basically, you need to have same size polygons. And let's see what can we do about this. We can move these over here, or actually I should move them down and move this one over here. Actually no, I think I just need to select these 4 polygons, right click and extrude them. Then I will go into points mode, move these points. Then I will grab polygon pen tool and create a new path, something like that. Then I'm gonna select these 2 polygons. I'm gonna flatten these out by scaling them to 0. Scale them, then hold down shift and stop at 0%. I can do the same thing over here. And let's check the side view. These are supposed to be perfectly straight. So scale them to 0 on the X and move them over here. Can move these over here and maybe scale these as well. By the way, never mind the endguns. I'm gonna work them later. I believe now it is time to make some of the symmetries editable, so we can, for example, model these front screen parts. As you can see, it is not symmetrical on the Y and Z. It is only symmetrical on the X. I mean, these 4 edges are really similar, but when you check the space, let me get that little print tool. Distance between these edges are not the same. Now let's make some of these editable. First, let's make the Z editable, Z symmetry. Let's close this on and off. And it looks like this is Z symmetry. So I need to make this editable, but when if I do that, it's gonna make the bottom symmetry editable as well. So I need to change the hierarchy over here. Like I'm gonna put this over here and put this under that and put the cube under it and make this one editable with C. Then we are gonna need to make the Y symmetry editable as well. So I'm gonna put this one over here, put this one at the very top, and put this one here. So basically, I will just need the X symmetry. Let's make this one editable, hit C, and we are not gonna need these nulls, delete them all. And let's try to model the front part. I will use booleans for this one specifically, the screen and the buttons. So let me add a cube in and scale it. To get that round edges, I'm gonna enable fillet, change the radius only. I'm gonna keep the 3 subdivisions because we need to at the very end connect these points, like this one to this one, this one to this one, this one to this one. So there should be a match between these 2 objects. Let's see. All right, everything is looking nice. Maybe we can scale it just a bit. We don't need that much size on the Z. I'm gonna make it editable because I am not gonna need these rounder parts. So I will make a loop selection, invert the selection, delete these. Then I'm gonna right click and say close polygon hole because I am gonna use booleans and booleans like closed objects. So let me unhide this one. Hold down Alt, the bool, and put the cube under that. Perfect. Then For the buttons, I'm gonna hold down Control, move this one over here. Of course, I'm gonna scale it until I get that rounded part quite similar. Yeah, this should work. I will go into points mode, move these up, and move these over here. As you can see, the left side is looking quite good, but the right side, I am talking about the radius of that rounding, is not okay. So we need to scale this, select them. By the way, let me turn off that word plane. So select scale tool, scale them. I don't want to scale them on the Z, so I'm gonna lock the Z and scale them one more time. Let's see. Yeah, now this is looking quite good. I'm gonna move these up, and let's see. I believe we are gonna need more thickness. So in model mode, I'm gonna scale them on the Z, and I need to group these two objects. Otherwise, Boolean will not work. So I'm gonna hit Alt and G on the keyboard. I'm gonna rotate this. Let's check the front view. I'm gonna scale Z of that object because it looks like it is not enough. I'm gonna move this closer to the object as possible, as much as possible. Then select this polygon and I'm gonna scale it like that. And move this up, scale again. Then I want to move this polygon on the Z, but if I do it right now, it's gonna follow the object's orientation. So I'm gonna right click and select world and move this over here. All right, that's gonna be all for the bool object. I'm gonna select it, enable create single object and make it editable. Now, all we need to do, connect these empty points. Before doing that, as you can see, we have these empty points all over the place. And to get rid of them, there is a quick way. Go here, go to mesh checking, enable that. I will only turn on the edge points. And if you click on this one, it's gonna select all of the empty points. And I'm just gonna delete them. Now I'm gonna select that polygon islands, right click, n-gons, and say remove n-gons. Of course, this is not gonna give us a perfect result, but it's gonna be a good starting point. I'm gonna grab polygon pen tool and start to connect points to get a better topology. For example, I can connect these and merge that point to that one. Then I'm gonna hold down Control and dissolve that edge. I can do something over here, then get rid of this one. Then of course here, same here. Then this. All right, this is looking quite good. By the way, it is good to have this enabled all the time so you can see these empty points. I'm gonna hold down Control and delete the points. Now let's check over here. I don't think these are gonna be any good for us, so I'm just gonna dissolve this, then connect them. You can connect that point in that one, but this is gonna create a pole. So whenever I want to add loop cuts later, the loop cut will stop right here. So I'm gonna connect this one to here, this one to here. Let's get rid of these. Same thing again. I'm gonna connect this one over here. Let's not forget the inside. It should be fairly easy because all four sides have three segments. So just connect these, and then you should have all quartz polygons. Now the top part, right click again, select the polygon islands, engon, and remove engons. This time, as you can see, it's made a great job by cleaning up the mesh. Now let's try to connect these points like this over here and this one and points. Perfect. I'm gonna leave this one for the moment because we are gonna need to change the position of these points to get that shape. Actually, while we are here, I'm gonna double click on these edges, hold down Control and extrude. Now let's check the back side. It looks like we need to move these points over here and maybe these ones like that. I'm gonna check this later. And let's select these polygons. Actually, we are gonna need a look cut over here. Okay, this one. Deselect this and hold down Control and simply extrude. I will go into point smooth then, rectangle selection, move this down. Same here. I'm gonna move this up. I will go to the top view because I need to move these points on the x-axis. Now, what we are going to do about this part? Let's select the polygon and move it down just a bit. Actually, for doing that, I'm going to move this down and then I'm going to move it down and can move this on the x. Let me select that one. By the way, we are gonna have a seam over here, just like you see in the image plane. So we need to kind of get ready for this part. So I'm gonna lower these down. Same here. Select them all and move these down. Actually, I want to flatten these out. Select them. So scale them on the Y to 0 and move them over here. That should be okay. But we always need to watch the edge sizes, especially on curved parts. So we shouldn't have something like that. Something like this should be enough. Now let me connect these empty points. Like that, then we can connect this one to this one. Now every polygon should be quartz. I'm gonna check this later. Now I believe it is time to add subdivision surface. Select the symmetry, hold down Alt, add subdivision surface. So if you watch the wireframes, it will give you a hint about the current state of the topology. For example, it looks like there is something happening over here. So I'm gonna select this one. And let's switch to points mode because it is easier to detect any problem. For example, it looks like this is the problem. Just select it and delete it. Hit Q and check the wireframe. Then we have this part. I believe, yes, these are not connected. Select them, hold down Shift and select path. Same here. These are not connected to any edge. So this is why we are getting these odd wireframes. I'm gonna solve it in a moment. But other than that, we are looking really Nice. Now it is time to add supporting edges. Right click, select loop cuts. I'm gonna add this one over here, and this one over here. Hit Q. Alright, not bad. But I want tighter edges, just like we see in the image plane. So double click, right click, select slide, then hold down Control and slide these outwards. So this is very similar to loop cuts, but loop cut will not work because the boundary is not in a good shape. I am talking about this, for example, engon over here. Then there is a pole. So if you want to add a loop cut, it's not gonna cover the boundary. So as you can see, because of that pole, it's gonna go straight up. And if you check this one, because of that angle, it's gonna stop right here. So in this kind of situations, I like to use slide tool. Just hold down Control and slide them. Actually, I'm gonna do the same thing over here because again, I have a pole over here. So if I want to add a loop cut, it's not gonna give me the same result. So just hold down Shift, select these bots, right click, select slide, or you can use the shortcut MNO, make something like that. I'm gonna select this back and I'm gonna add this one in. Nice. Then of course frames. Again, the loop cut will stop whenever it sees an endgun, just like this one. You can turn off stop cut at endgun, just like that. And of course this one and this one. Now let's check this part. Looks like, let me check. Yes, I'm gonna need one over here and over here. Same on this part, here and here. Now I will show you something very important, especially for subdivision surface workflow. You see these round parts, they also need supporting edges to hold the curve better. For example, if I hit Q and enable subdivision surface and add this loop cut over here, you're gonna see that after these supporting edges, we have a better roundness. So loop cuts are not only for making the edges sharper, but it's also very helpful to this kind of round shapes. Actually, let me show you in a separate file. For example, this object was rounded out by a bevel with lots of subdivisions, so it has a perfect roundness. But let's say that you have something a low poly, like this one, and if I want to add a subdivision surface over the top and check the front view, you are going to see that the roundness is not that good. If you compare these two, you are going to see the difference. This is the low, and this is the high. And now watch what's going to happen when I add a loop cut to the low poly. For example, here, check the shape. So as I add the supporting edges, the rounder the shape gets. Now, if you compare this, we got a better result. Of course, it's not identical, but very close result. So let me go back to my original scene and start to add these loop cuts. This part is looking nice, but we have other rounder parts, such as here. I have this one over here, these edges, so no need to add this one over here, but here I'm gonna need it. So right click, loop cuts. Let's see if we have anything on the other side. No, so I can add this one. Also, watch the distances between the edges. They should be identical. I mean, not identical, but need to be really close. Which means that I need to select these and slide them over here. I'm gonna hit Q. All right, everything is looking great. Then I can work over here. I'm gonna select polygon pen this time and add these new cuts. Actually, over here. Then I have look cut over here, so no need to do that. But we are gonna need here. Then here. Actually, let me undo and connect this one to this one, because as I told you, I need to have same sized edges, especially on curved surfaces. So instead, I'm gonna connect this and get rid of this one. And let me see which one is going to be the seam. This one. So I have still some space, like I can make something like that. And get rid of that edge. Then I have this one. I think I'm gonna merge this one to this one, otherwise this part will be a little crowded. This can go over here. After that edge, it's not that important because it is pretty straight. I mean, these edges, you need to have even sized edges right on the curves, especially for example this one. After a point, like after that edge, it is not important to have the same size edges. Let's hit Q. Okay, this part is looking perfect. Maybe we need to select these and watch out if you select something on the other side. And I'm gonna move these over here. Now let's try to work more on the other side. So first let me check the shape. It looks like this part I am talking about here should be slightly rounder. So first let me select this and use equal spacing tool. Then I'm gonna select this edge and move it down. Then I will hold down shift, select these parts and move this down. Maybe I can move it just a bit. I'm gonna space them equally one more time. And that these edges should be right here. Hit Q. Something happened over here. It is probably these edges are not perfectly straight. So double click on these. Then go to the coordinates. And I want to invert coordinates. These are facing X. So we should check the X. And it looks like I need to position and scale this to 0. Hit 0 for both position and scale. Now enable the subdivision surface. Now it should work perfect. I'm gonna double click on these, right click, select slide, hold down control, select them. Alright, it's getting better. I believe we are gonna need another one because I don't like that point. So if I enable subdivision surface, I don't know if it's coming through the video, but there is some weirdness going on over here. This is because of that pole. So basically when a point is shared by more than 4 edges, like this one, this poles creates more problem, especially when they are right on a curve or on an extrude. So in order to get rid of that, I'm gonna double click on these edges, hold down shift, right click, select slide one more time, hold down Control, and extrude these edges. Just like that. So I don't have that poly anymore. It is right here, but since it is very far away from the curve or the extrude, it's not going to create a problem. Maybe we can slide these edges over here. Then hit Q and let's check the mesh. All right, it's looking perfect. Maybe we can add another line, then connect this one to over here. Get rid of this one. So this is one of the advantages of keeping these on the edge points, so you can see these empty points immediately. Q. I'm gonna slide this over here. Because this part is supposed to be softer, I believe. And another thing, I believe I need to select these polygons. And I'm gonna move them on the X just a bit, not too much. Then these edges. Let me select these edges. I'm gonna move these down. I mean, I have talked about these too much that it's not gonna be cool to leave them like that. I am talking about the polygon sizes, like these are not identical, so I'm gonna move these down just a bit. It doesn't need to be perfect in terms of sizes, but I'm gonna try to get something similar. All right, now I believe it is time to model this part place for the buttons. As you can see, it is not symmetrical on the X, which means that I need to make this symmetry editable because we are gonna have this detail only on that part. So hit C on the keyboard, delete that one. To model it, I'm gonna use a bool. Before that, I'm gonna add in a cube. Let's move it over here, scale it like that. Then we can make this one editable. Points mode, move these over here. Then I'm just gonna select these and scale them on the Y. Now select the bool and put another bool over that and put the cube under that. Perfect. Now let's go to the boolean and enable create single object and make this one editable. Going to points mode, I will grab polygon pen tool and start to clean this mesh. For example, the most obvious one, we can connect these two. Then these points, we have empty points, just hold down Control and click on them. Now let's see. You at first sight you may want to connect this one to this one, but no. Instead, I'm gonna connect this one, so I'm gonna get two quads. Same here. Okay, connect these. Same here. Then these points. After that, we should be okay. Let's hit Q. Of course, we are going to need supporting edges. For example, like here and here. Hit Q again. Not that bad, but it will be better to have an extra edge loop. Select these, select slide, hold down Control, and extrude these edges. You can lower this down, hit Q. Now this is looking perfect. Of course, this part should be empty inside of that. To do it, I'm just gonna select these polygons, hold down Control, and I'm gonna extrude them 2 times so that I can get this extra loop. And we can either delete these polygons or split them. We can use these for the buttons. Just in case, I'm gonna split them. Go back to the original one and delete. I'm gonna hide this one for the moment. Let's hit Q. Alright, it looks like we are gonna need extra supporting edges to make these corners tighter. So why don't we just double click on that edge loop, right click, select bevel. I don't think we need 2, 0 will be enough. I'm gonna undo that and start again. It looks like I need to change my offset mode to proportional and increase the offset. Actually, let me enable subdivision surface and bevel this one more time so you can see the effect we are getting with the bevel tool. I believe this should be enough. Alright, not bad. I'm gonna also add this one, loop cut. Alright, looking perfect. Now I believe it is time to model the screen parts. It's gonna be fairly easy. I will just go into polygon mode, turn off subdivision surface, make a loop selection, grow the selection. Then I'm gonna split this selection, then double click on these edges, right click, select extrude. Actually, let me see the front sides. Yes, we are gonna need something like that. Then I will hit Control and extrude this. For the inside parts, you may want to use scale tool, but if I do that, I'm not gonna get a uniform shape. I mean, if I scale this like that, you are gonna see that the size of these polygons are not the same. So in order to get a uniform extrude, I need to use the extrude tool by itself. So let's do something like that. Then I'm gonna double click on these 2 edges, edge loops, right click, select stitch and sew, and connect these. Then let's hold down Control and extrude these 2 times. Then for the screen part, I will do the same thing. Basically, just select these polygons, then grow the selection U and Y, then split. Double click on these edges, right click, select extrude. Then I'm gonna select close polygon hole tool, select the grid mode, and click here. As you can see, the result is not very good because we have these pointless edges. Just let's get rid of them. Double click on them. For example, like these ones. Right click and dissolve. Let me solo this. It looks like we need to move these up, and I'm gonna scale these on the X. Same here. I mean, you are not gonna ever notice, but just to make sure. I can dissolve these edges. Now let's try that close polygon hole tool one more time and let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, maybe we can try to bridge these with the chassis and add some geometry, then use close polygon hole tool. As you can see now, this gave me a better result, much better result. Actually, before doing that, let me select these 2 and scale them like that, then use close polygon hole tool one more time. Actually, as you can see, I am more careful about this part because we are gonna put texture on that surface, so we need to avoid any distortion on the surface. Like, As you can see, I am trying to make this perfectly straight. Then I'm gonna add these loop cuts. So by these extra loop cuts, it's gonna prevent us to get any distortion on the texture. Maybe we can connect these and get rid of these edges. Okay, let's turn off solid mode, enable solid surface. It's not gonna work. It's gonna only work for the first one under the solid surface. So we need to group them, select them all, hit Alt and G. I'm gonna rename that to screen frame. I will let some cuts like here, here, and maybe over here. Then the screen. I don't think we don't. I don't think we need any loop cuts for this one. By the way, if you make these parts more visible, you can select these and scale them just a bit, not too much. Q, yeah, something like that. I'm gonna rename that to screen. This one, let's say base. I think it is time to model that seam. So let me select this one, go into edge mode. Let's select these edges first. No, not these, but these. By the way, I am holding Control and Shift. Then this goes up all the way over here. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to select these. Let me check. No, the edges should be perfectly straight. So I'm gonna grab polygon pen tool and add a line cut like that, and hold down Shift, select these as well. Same situation over here. I'm gonna need something like that. Then hold down Shift, select these. Before going any further, I'm gonna go back to points mode, grab polygon pen tool, and kind of clean this mesh like that. And maybe we can just for the moment dissolve these edges. Same here. The reason that I have just dissolved is because I'm gonna make an extrusion. So let's select, actually before doing that, let me go back to points mode and move that down point just a bit to make sure. I'm gonna scale this to 0. Okay, now we are good to go. I'm gonna select slide tool, hold down Control, and select them like that. Now I will go back to points mode and clean the mesh. I can connect these. I'm gonna slide them like that, and that should be enough. Maybe I don't like to have that hole right on the curve, so I'm gonna connect these, get rid of that edge. Then I can do something like that. Q. All right, looking nice. Maybe Something like that will be better. Then the top part, it's gonna be easy, just connect the empty points. If you have a triangle, try to get rid of that. Then I can connect this, and it should be enough. Again, before moving further, I'm gonna select these and slide these down to make this part slightly tighter. Same here. Make sure I can select them all. And for these parts, let me select all of them. Let's make them flat first. Grab slide tool, hold the control and move this up. Basically, I am trying to lower the tension over here. As you can see, this edge too long and it may cause some pinching. Just in case, I'm gonna make something like that. Now let's go back to that seam. I will go into polygon mode, loop selection, and I should be able to select this perfectly. Then I will make an inset, something like that. Then normal transform and normal move. So I will push this in like that. Now let's hit Q and see what's going on. Right, not bad. We need to delete these extra polygons. And I see some duplicate points. Just select them with rectangle selection and weld them. And I can delete this one. I'm gonna lower these. I'm gonna select them, move this down just to make this part slightly tighter. We need to move some of these, and I have an empty point. Just dissolve them. While we are here, let's slide these edges off. They are too close to each other. And let me weld these like that with slide tool. I'm not sure about the shape over here, so let's make something like that. Now let's try to model the buttons. Let's unhide this one. And let's see. It looks like we are gonna need an inset. Right click, inset, and I'm gonna move this like that. Select them all, move them more. And I don't think we are gonna need this one. Just dissolve them. I'm gonna move these down just a bit, just to get a similar shape, just like the top parts. And I'm gonna need another one right in the center. Then I will select the center edges, bevel them with one subdivision. Yes, then actually let me solo that one. I'm gonna select these and move them over here. I will go into points mode, grab polygon pen tool, and I'm gonna merge these points like that to get that shape. Alright, so let's go into edge mode, hold down control, extrude these edges. that should be it. Of course, we are going to need supporting edges. So select loop cut, hit Q, one over here and one here. And these ones, I'm going to hit this one and this one. And the last one, I will hit here, hit Q. All right, looking nice. Then we can select them all and move them. We need to be careful though, because we are gonna put textures on that part. So in order to avoid any distortion, I'm gonna need extra geometry like these ones. Now it's time to model these things. I don't know what to name that. Let's select the base, turn off solo mode. Obviously, we are gonna need more resolution over here. So why don't we select these first and slide them down somewhere around here. And we are gonna need to select some of these. I don't think this is gonna be enough, so I'm gonna hit one loop cut. Make sure that it doesn't break anything on the surface. Then I think we have enough resolution to model this part. I'm gonna select these four. Right click, select inset. Then I'm gonna select these only, slide them over here. Same here, slide over here. Now I'm gonna move these points because in order to get a better roundness, I need to have the same distance between the points. For example, I need to move these edges over here. So I'm gonna get these perfect cubes or rectangles. Then select them all. I need to change my axis orientation. Right click, select normal, hold down control. I'm gonna extrude this 2 times. I might use that for the button itself. So let's split this one, hide it, go back to the base and delete the polygons. Now let's hit Q. Obviously, we are gonna need supporting edges. We have this one over here, but I'm gonna add this one in by sliding these edges with control. Since we broke the symmetry, we are not gonna have the shape on here, but there is an easy way to get the same shape on the other side. First, I need to delete these polygons first. So I have selected like 15. Then just delete them. I will just need to fill selection, then right click, select extra and mirror, click on center, and you should have it over here. Of course, some points will not match. So I'm gonna grab polygon pen tool and connect these, hit Q. These are not connected, so I'm gonna select all the points, right click and select optimize, which will merge the points based on this tolerance. And it worked great. Now let's try to fill the inside. I'm gonna unhide this one and let's check the shape. 1, 2, 3, 4 edges I will need. So double click on this one, or right click, select bevel, bevel this. I'm gonna increase my subdivision to 2 so that I can get these 4 edges. I just need to play with the offset to get something even. Then I'm gonna select these, right click, bevel again, but this time no subdivision. Something like that should be enough. And I'm gonna select these polygons. Yeah, exactly. Then hold down control, extrude. I'm gonna solo it, double click on these edges, hold down control, extrude, hit Q. I'm gonna move this over here, and right now it doesn't fit perfectly. So let's go into points mode, select the top and bottom points, hit Q, and scale this on the X only. And I'm gonna add these loop cuts. Alright, not bad for such a low poly mesh. To get this one on the other side, since its axis hasn't changed, you can check the X, you can use symmetry, hold down Alt, symmetry. I think I selected something else, yes, this one. Again, check the x-axis. If it is 0, then you are good to use symmetry. Hold down Alt with symmetry. And it worked perfect. Just make this one editable. Click this one and say that back button. I believe the last piece we're gonna model on object is this part, the lighting. Actually, I have just noticed something over here. Let me enable wireframe mode. Yes, over here. So it is good to check the wireframes time to time to detect any problem on the surface. Just like this one, I'm gonna select this and button. Now everything is looking great. Maybe not this part. Yes, duplicate points. Now it's looking great. By the way, I will select this and move this up. But before doing that, I should change my orientation to world. Alright, now it looks much better. So for this part, first thing, I'm gonna model the shape itself. So I will add in a disk, change the orientation. I should go to the front view. I'm gonna scale this to something like that. And let's move it over here. 16 will be too much. 8 will be perfect. Then I will hold down Control, move it over here. Select them, right click, connect objects and delete points mode. Delete these points. And select these edges, right click, Stitch U, hold down Shift, connect the points. Then I'm gonna add loop cuts right here and here, maybe to the center. Then I will select all the polygons and move them where this shape's supposed to be, like here. Let's see, yeah, exactly right here. Now I'm gonna go back to the base and first thing first, let's connect these points, empty points, which will give me enough resolution. So I can model the shape. Then I will select these, select them down over here, and that should be it. I'm gonna select this one again and select normal axis, pull them just a bit. While all the polygons are selected, select extrude tool, enable create caps. I did this because I will use a bool. Select the base, hold down Alt, bool, and put the disk under that. Coming here and create single object and make this one editable. Now all I need to do, connect the points. For example, this one to this one. I can get rid of this one, hold down Control. This one to this one, this can go over here. I can dissolve this, and this can go over here. Here I can connect this, and this should go over here. Get rid of this point, connect this and dissolve that one. This part is done. Now let's work on here. Same steps, just connect the points. All right, now I'm gonna need supporting edges, of course. Double click on these edges, select bevel. I will select solid mode and maybe fixed distance offset mode, change the offset, and it looks like something is not right here. Let me select this, and it says 2 points. Right click, select weld and weld this, and I'm gonna bevel this one more time. Solid mode, and let's say something like 0.5. Hit Q, and it looks great. Of course, we need to get rid of these empty points. But before doing that, let's model the inside. So I will just split these polygons as usual, and I'm gonna extrude them. I don't think we need caps, just extrude them. Then I will make any sets as a supporting edge, hit Q. So now what about these empty points? I'm gonna rename these back base and let's say light, I don't know. So for these ones, we don't need to worry about them because they are right on a flat surface, so we can leave them as they are, but I usually connect them to somewhere else, like here. Actually not this one, but this one. If I connect these 2 points, it's gonna make this polygon, a triangle, a polygon, if you count the points. Same here. And for this one, let's connect these two, and this is gonna give us a triangle. We can make something like that, then slide these over here and connect these. Now every polygon is gonna be quads. If you check the wireframe, everything should look okay, and the surface smoothness and perfection will be preserved. I just noticed something. I believe I need to move this like that. Now it is time to model the last part, this piece. So let's add a plane in, move it over here, make it fast forward, scale it. I will get rid of all these segments and then I will simply make this one editable. I'm gonna select this edge. Actually, before doing that, let's select the model and move it over here in the right view. Then edge mode, Alt and Control, extrude that edge, then Alt and Control again, move it down. Select this one, right click, select bevel. Let's make it 3. Let's make something like that. We can then change the points, move the points. After that, I want to bevel these points out, right click, bevel. Let's make something like that. Or we can go even lower to like something like 1. Actually, let's stick to 2 just in case. Then there is a hole over here. To get that, I'm gonna copy something from these objects. Let's follow it. Polygon mode, I'm gonna select all of these. Then right click, split. I'm gonna move them over here, rotate them. I want this to be a little flat. Let's see, yes, it will need some rotation. Doesn't need to be perfect. Then in the front view, I'm gonna move it over here, rotate it 90 degrees and scale it. Select the bottom points, move them down. We can this one over here. Turn off solo mode, move it over here. Right click, extrude, turn on caps, and I'm gonna select this one, hold down Alt, add a bool, and put this one under the plane. Make this one a single object and make it editable. That's all. Now we need to clean the mesh. I mean, we need to connect the points. Right click, select polygon pen tool. Let's first connect these points. Then we can connect these as well. These parts, it's gonna be easy since we have a lot of poly. But before doing that, I believe it's gonna be good to make something like that. Then I can connect these. Then these ones. Then these. Actually, let me undo that because I should have started from here. Get rid of these ones. Then for the thickness, I'm gonna select them all, select extrude. Let's check the right view. I'm gonna make something like that. It's not gonna be enough though because this part is looking pretty flat. So select them all. I want to scale them on the Z. So in order to get a perfect flat surface, I need to change my orientation of the world. Then scale them to 0 on the X. Move them over here. Maybe we can move these down. Then select these only. Okay, I think it's time to add supporting edges. For example, I need to select these ones, right click, select slide, hold down control, and make something like that. I can select this back and add this one in. Same here, select that loop selection, then extrude these. Same again for these parts. Let's use bevel in solid mode. Let's hit Q, or actually we have already another subdivision surface group. Let's hit Q. Alright, not bad, maybe these look cuts. Slide tool, button control. Alright, looks perfect. I'm gonna move this. Actually, simply let's change the word coordinates and set x to 0. It's not over yet. We need to add some smaller details, such as this one. I'm gonna select these 4 polygons so that I'm gonna get more resolution on this one. Then I will make an inset, very small. Select, right click, select fit circle tool. Let's see, yeah, something like that. Then hold down control, extrude. Let's follow that. Make an inset, another loop cut. Here, let's hit Q. I'm gonna make a loop selection and extrude these with slide tool. Then I believe, let's see, last one. Yes, they're gonna be right on these polygons. Same process, small inset, then circle tool. This one is gonna be the not on control. In insets, loop cuts, again, something like that. This is gonna be it for the modeling. I am really pleased with the results. I mean, we modeled every detail on the image plane. Now it is time to work on rendering stuff. I will probably split the tutorial into two parts. One will be for modeling and the second one for the rendering. I will put the image planes in the description so you can download them and follow me. So I'll see you in the next part. Bye.